It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up. All right, what's happening? What's happening, guys? It is Thursday, March 5th, 2020. I can't believe it is already the 5th of March. It's crazy, man. Time is flying this year in 2020. I hope you guys are crushing it, man. We're having an awesome year over here on all fronts, and man, it feels good. We got some momentum built, and I'm happy about that. I'm proud of everything that my team is doing and that everybody around me is doing. Family's doing good. Everything's rolling in 2020 here, and I'm happy about it. I'm excited, and I just want to keep it rolling. So today we're going to talk about value being today's currency, meaning, what is value and how does it equate to, when I say currency, everybody knows what that means. It means value is like today's money, right? It's like, if you bring value, that is way more important than what you are actually paid. And I'm going to explain why to you. Good morning, Trisha. What's happening, Dayton? Good morning, brother. Dayton, if you still need something from me, man, give me a shout today. I've been crazy busy, but I've been trying to get at least answers to you indirectly. But give me a shout if you still need something. So what I mean by that, value is today's currency. What's happening, Carrie Ann? Thank you for jumping on. It means, it doesn't necessarily matter all the time, like what you're paid today. It matters what you are actually doing today to raise your own value and to raise the value of those around you. And the reality is this: you will always find success and you'll always find more money if you just continue to bring tremendous value, like consistently, day in and day out, to those people around you. And, I think that so often in today's world, everybody's looking for this like instant win, right? They just want this like instant. I go to work, I work hard for a couple of months, and at the end of it, everything's just fantastic, and my whole life changes. And that's just not how it works. It's just not how it's going to be for you. But what is cool is that if you just continue to do the things that you are capable of doing, bringing value to everybody around you in all aspects of your life. So your family, your work, and then, everybody else, the others outside of those family or work activities, I promise you your life will get better. It'll just continue to climb because two things. Number one, people will view you as incredibly valuable to them. And the second part is it will help you tremendously with your self-confidence and your self-worth, which, through coaching a lot of people, it's the thing that I see most often as the biggest challenge that people have, is just that opinion of themselves, that when they look in the mirror, who do they see? Do they like that person? And do they have a level of self-confidence and self-worth that actually aligns with their potential and with what they're able to deliver? And so I wanted to talk about that today. And we're going to dive into, how do you bring value to your, to your family, to your work, and then to everybody else outside of that, everything else that you do, all the other activities in your life. So what's happening, Derek? Good morning, man. Thank you for jumping on. Samantha, Carla, what's happening? Good morning. I'll see you tonight, hopefully, again on the Elite call. There's a couple people here on Top Contractor Elite. And Andrew, good morning, brother. Thank you for jumping on, guys. So, I want to talk first about the value that you bring to your family. So I would say it's real simple. The value that you bring to your family is just the amount of impact that you make as a husband or a wife, as a father or a mother, a son, daughter, brother, sister. Meaning, how much do you actually take the time to help your family? Like, how much time in your day is spent doing things, doing activities that help your family, that provide for your family, that teach your kids, that encourage your kids, that inspire your kids, or the same with your spouse, your parents, your brother, sister, whatever, versus how much time do you spend doing things that have no impact? And that would be, just spending hours watching television, going to the bar and not doing something that's productive. Anything along those lines that is counterproductive to your family, to moving your family forward, is something that I would say is not valuable, right? So, and I'm not saying that you don't ever need to go do those things. I went out with my buddies, went to a Penguin game last week or the week before, and I had a great time. We went out, met at a local bar, went to the Penguin game, had a great time. But I don't do that very often. And I'm not talking down on the people, maybe if they do, but I'm just saying that the value you bring in your life is a direct reflection of the choices that you make. And if you are looking to bring more value to your family, you have to stay dialed in to exactly what that looks like a majority of the time. So if I take time to watch television, it's typically like just a stress relief type of thing. Like, I've been going so hard that I just need a little mindless couple of hours that I can, sit on the couch and kind of recharge, eat, hang out with the kids, spend some time. But the reality of those situations that you do that are not productive, you just have to pay attention to that stuff, because the value that you bring to your family comes through production. It comes through activity. It comes through being mindful of the time that you spend. Are you planning your week out so that you can balance all of this stuff, so you can bring value, you can provide for your family, at the same time spending time with them, spending time with your kids, helping them with their homework, doing whatever it is that you got to do to make sure that you are bringing the highest level of value to your family. The value you bring to your work. So let's talk about that one for a minute. The value you bring to your work is the same thing. It's the amount of impact that you're able to make on those around you and on the success of the organization that you are a part of for your work. It does not mean the hours that you spend working. It means the value that you actually bring, the impact that you actually bring. And so that's a tricky one, because a lot of people think, that the value that they bring is related to how many hours that they spend doing something. And that's just not true either, right? It's the actual impact. So if you're a person that finds yourself, distracted a lot while you're working, you have to pay attention to that, and you have to work on that, because, and I was that person at one time. I could work 12 hours and I was probably only really putting in, 5 or 6 of them, because I was very distracted. I just, wasn't super focused on what I was doing. And what I found is that, I was still bringing value to the organization, but I constantly was looking for ways to stay more focused, to get more dialed in, so that the value that I could bring was just tremendously bigger, because I didn't want to spend those hours. I didn't want to spend that time investing into work that I could be doing something with my kids or my wife, unproductive. I wanted to be as productive as I possibly could. And that started to get better for me when I really started to use a planner and think about what I had to do and actually organize myself better. An example of that was, we have an everyday call with our team. At 9 o'clock in the morning, every single day, our team meets to talk about what we've got going on, because we've got people all over the country. And so we got to get on the same page. And every single day for the past, I don't even know how long, probably a year plus, we have had a call every single morning. And that call has gotten a little bit loose, right? Where we kind of lost the structure. We lost the trajectory of kind of where we're going with it. It was still effective, but I wanted it to be more effective. And the other day I got a text from a guy on our team and said, hey, here's some suggestions about how we can make this call more effective. Bam, man, we put it into place. Yesterday was the first time, and it was super effective. So that call will become more valuable because we are more focused, we are more organized, during that period of time. Here's the cool thing about value, guys, when it comes to work, is that as you bring value in your organization, as you bring more focus and more value and you bring more to the table, man, nobody can take that away from you, right? It is in your hands. And I think that, a lot of times we're looking for other people to kind of endorse that value. And I would tell you that for sure where your value lies. And a lot of times, even I have, moments where I question, how much value. We all have those like moments of self-doubt where we wonder, are we doing enough? Can we bring more value? How do other people view what I'm doing for our organization? But as you raise that value that you bring, your self-confidence and self-worth will come with it, right? And so it just comes down to, and it's the same thing with your family, and it'll be the same thing with the other areas of your life, is literally just creating that consistency and discipline in that value. So in being able to bring value to your organization, and it's about how many of those days you can chain together of delivering that value, and how many days at the end of the day you would look at yourself and say, I won today, versus I didn't do what I should have done. And listen, that's all fair. You have to be honest with yourself first to be able to raise the value that you bring. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys. So, and the last but not least topic here is, the outside areas of your life. How do you impact others in the world? And do you bring value to those people around you that aren't your family, that aren't your coworkers, that aren't the people that you spend every day with? If you ever feel yourself kind of getting down a little bit on yourself in life, like, things just aren't going quite right, I promise you this, guys, go find somebody in the world to help. Go find somebody in the world that might need a hand that you can impact. And I promise you that is a way to instantly change your perspective on how you view yourself and the value that you bring to the world around you. It starts and ends, guys, with actually taking the time to help other people. And it is imperative for those of you who are watching this stream, that you take the time to actually evaluate yourself and think about the impact that you are making on others. And the time that you take to do that. Do you actually take time out of your day at work, outside of work, and with your family to try to make an impact, to try to have a positive influence on those people around you? And, what I always say is, when you look at people around you, you always got to be evaluating, are those people givers or are they takers? When you're plugging into people around you, are those people taking energy from you, or are they giving energy to you, or is it an exchange, right? Where sometimes you're the giver, sometimes you're the taker of somebody else's energy, right? And if you find people around you that are constantly taking your energy but not plugging any back in, not encouraging you, you have to be careful of that. And you got to kind of have those conversations so that people understand what that looks like. But first and foremost, in those areas of your life outside of work and your family, your number one is to make an impact with others. I only tell you the other part because while you're making an impact on others, there's a lot of people in this world that will be take, and the tide never turns in your favor, where they're giving something back to you. And you have to be aware of those people, because if you are constantly giving, and I can guarantee you every single person that's on this stream can think about somebody in their life that they have given a lot to, but they just haven't received a lot in return. And when you do that, I know you're all thinking like, man, it's so frustrating. It is frustrating because you are not plugged into something that is a back and forth relationship. You're plugged into something that could possibly be forever a one-way street. And when you do that, your ability to impact others, your ability to bring value to other areas of your life will start to deplete just a little bit because of your frustration level with that particular relationship. And so if you can just keep these things top of mind and create distance with people that don't give back a little bit, you will find yourself to be much happier and much more fulfilled. But with that said, those three areas, your family, your work, and then the people outside of your work and family, the value that you bring to people around you, to the world around you in those three areas, that is how you're ultimately going to measure yourself, and it's how your life is going to create itself. And it's also the level at which you will eventually be compensated in this world. And so that's why I say value is today's currency, because the value that you bring will automatically elevate the currency that you are able to collect in your life, the money that you're able to have, the lifestyle that you're able to create for yourself, and then the things that you're able to do in your life. There are things that I am able to do today in my life, like I get invited to things that I couldn't have imagined being invited to 10 years ago. And the reason for that is because I bring a different level of value. I have a different commitment to bringing value to other people in my life. Like I truly put other people very high in my life with regard to how I manage my day-to-day activities. I try to pour into others as often as I can. I try to have an impact on my family. I try to have an impact on the people that I work with, those people around me. And I try to do things outside of work and family that truly have an impact on the world. And that giving, that time that you spend trying to create an impact on other people, it is the good that you put out into the world that creates the opportunities that sometimes you see in other people's lives and wonder how those opportunities come about. Yesterday I went through my Facebook memories and I found the very first comment that Judd Burden put on my Instagram account that triggered the phone call to him that ultimately led to a trip down to meet him in person. And the rest is history. You know, we've got business opportunities together. We spent a lot of time together. We did the Gold Digger Retreat together. That was 2 years ago to yesterday. And so I would tell you guys this. The time leading up to that day, I put a lot of good out into the world, I believe. And I believe that the world repays you with the right people, the right connections, the right opportunities, the right results in your life. Because if you bring value to those people around you, it's only a matter of time until that value is repaid to you in your life, in currency, in friendships, in relationships, in business opportunities, in people helping you. You know, I can't even count the number of people that help me on a weekly basis. It's incredible, right? The number of people that are willing to lend a hand to our team, to my family, to our church, to, everything. I look around, man, and there's just a lot of people around me that are helping. And, it's cool to see that. And it's cool to be a part of that because it encourages me to do more, to deliver more value, to create more opportunities for other people to have impact and value on our team, in our church, in our with our family, and out there in the world. And so I would ask you guys to just look at yourself and say to yourself, how much value am I bringing today? And then how much more could I bring? Can I spend more focused time on my family? Can I spend more focused time at work? Am I wasting some of the minutes and hours in my day that I can put to better use? And then outside of those two areas, can I do the same, out in the world, in the rest of the world, where I can make an impact as well? And hopefully, person by person, brick by brick, I can change the world in my own little way. So that's it for this morning, guys. I appreciate you guys jumping on. What's happened, Mike Abernathy? Good morning, Bob, Jake, Justin, Mike, Chris, Jeff, Jared. What's going on, guys? Thank you guys for jumping on, man. I appreciate you guys. So that's it for today, guys. If you found this valuable, if you think there's somebody out there that needs to hear it, please, by all means, share it out. Go to the podcast platform, iTunes, Spotify, any of those, and share it out there. Don't forget that we're on the podcast platform. So if you can't catch this every single morning, these are uploaded soon after the show typically is done, and they will go to the podcast platform. You can listen anytime throughout the day. So I appreciate you guys continuing to refer people over to the show, and I appreciate all of the support, all of the comments, all of the likes, shares, etc. Man, yesterday's show got almost 1,000 views here right on Facebook, so that's amazing, and it all happens because you guys are willing to share it. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support, and I will see you guys again tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. right here, same place, same time. Make the best of your day every day. Amen, Jake Perry. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.